So one of the things that I would like to talk about is something having to do with students and why some students seem to have it easy and some students seem to have it difficult, and I've heard a lot of teachers complain about when their students don't do what they're supposed to do, and they read into that their own perception of why the student isn't doing what they're supposed to do. And you have a bit of a different take on that.
Well, yeah, some teachers, if their students don't give them what they want, they immediately attribute all kinds of negative stuff to the students. Right? Here's the way I look at it. If your student doesn't do what it is you want them to do, there's 3 possible reasons why not. Number 1 is doesn't understand what the fuck you want. That's a cognitive problem, right? Doesn't understand. That's a knowledge problem. So in that case, what you have to do is explain, demonstrate, especially break it down into its component parts and take each tiny little thing and break those parts into parts if you have to, however far you have to go until they dig it, you know. This is the way I do music, you know. If I crack a new tune and I look at the first 8 measures and I go, oh man, I don't know if I can play that. So I'll take the first measure. I'll take the first note. Can I play that? I'll take the first 2 notes, put those together, you know. Work on the first measure. Get the first measure down. Okay, I'll go into the second measure, right? Work on that. Then I'll put the first measure and second measure together, right? And reassemble the song like, you know, Dr. Frankenstein's Blues, right? So if they don't understand what you want them to do, then that's the way you manage that problem. And then do that, and then see if it fixes things. All right? You have to just see. So that's one possibility. Another possibility is they can't do what it is you're asking them to do. It may be because they don't have the skill to do it, you know, or it may be because they don't have the capacity to do it. Now, those are 2 different things, right? If you're playing guitar, you know, you may not have the skill to stretch your little finger out far enough to hit that note, right? You resolve that with practice. That's why we call it practice, right? You acquire the skill by repetition. But if you're Django Reinhardt and you don't have those 2 fingers, right, that's not the solution, right? So if you don't have the skill, that's one problem. If you don't have the capacity, that's a different problem, right? If your student does not have the capacity to do something, stop fucking asking them. They can't do it. I had a student who had a thing with her wrist. She couldn't supinate her hand. She tried like hell, couldn't supinate her hand, right? Well, what am I going to do? Beat her over the head with that every time she comes to class? No. Instead of using octave, fuck it, we'll use seconde. You don't have to supinate your hand. We'll work around it. We'll find a way that you can be excellent in your own way. Right? There's lots of ways to do this. The third reason you don't get what you want is because for some reason they don't want to do what you want them to do. Right? That's an affective problem. That's an emotional problem. You have to figure out why they don't want to do that. What does it mean to them? Mostly, what are they afraid of? Are they afraid of trying it and failing? You know, that's huge for people. Embarrassment at failure. That's huge for people. So you just have to work through that and help your student discover what it is that's in the way and see what you can devise to remove that obstacle. So either they don't understand what you want, they can't do what you want, or they don't want to do what you want. And each of those 3 situations has its own solution. Incidentally, I didn't learn that at the fencing academy. I learned that from my horse.